If you're a leader, manager, supervisor, or if you're just wanting to be successful professionally, this video is for you. And if you watch the show Grey's Anatomy too, then this video is going to be right up your alley. My name is Alyson Van Hooser. I'm a Keynote speaker and trainer and coming 2020 author on professional and personal leadership. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and then hit that bell to be notified when I post new modern leadership development videos just like this one. Okay, let's dig in. Grey's Anatomy has been a guilty pleasure of mine since it first aired in 2005. And I've always loved Grey and McDreamy and now even DeLuca. But today I want to take a look at the character Joe. Now, because I'm a Keynote speaker and trainer on leadership, when I watch TV, I probably do it differently than you or than most people do. I've always got my antenna up for leadership lessons, good and bad. And in season 16, Joe perfectly played out leadership principles that I want to point out to you. So, in case you've never watched Grey's Anatomy, let me give you a little background information to bring you up to speed. Grey's Anatomy is a medical drama television series. The series follows Meredith Grey and other surgical interns, residents, and attendings as they develop throughout their careers. This video is focusing on Joe. Joe had a tough life. She didn't have a good mother or father. She was abandoned by her mom, and so she grew up in foster care. But Joe went on to graduate from Harvard Medical School and is now an attending general surgeon at Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital on the show. How did she become so successful? Let's take a look at what she did and what you can do to gain greater success at work. Number one, you have to get back up. Here's what I mean. At the beginning of the season, because Joe had been dealing with personal issues, she decided to go get help through psychiatric treatment. So a side point, if you need help, go get help. But once Joe completed that treatment, she had a really hard decision to make. Do I return to my old job or do I move on to something else? If she went back to where she was working before treatment, she was worried that people would be judging her. Her husband even mentioned that she could take a job where nobody knew who she was or what happened at his hospital. But in the end, Joe decided to go back to the same hospital she was working at before. She could have decided to go somewhere else. She could have decided to give up on her dreams and run away from the judgment of her coworkers. After all, facing people that might judge you or see you in a negative light is not easy, right? However, Joe made a choice that was going to get her closer to her goals, not further away. Here's my point. If you're going to be a great leader, if you're going to achieve success, then if something bad happens, whether it's your fault or not, you have to pick up the pieces. You have to get back up and you have to go after your dreams. Here's what I know. We're all leaders. We all lead ourselves, our family, the people we work with and work for, and leaders are not bulletproof. We're human just like everybody else. But those who lead well are those people who choose to get back up after they fall. So if you've been in a hard place, take time to do the work to heal, just like Joe did when she went to therapy. And once you've healed, get back up and choose to lead yourself and the people around you well. Get up and go do the work that you were meant to do. Show up for yourself and the people around you with better than you ever have before, because that's what successful leadership looks like in the real world. Successful leaders are going to fall. They're going to fail. We all do. But the one thing you can do to make sure that you land in the right place, that you actually get to where you want to be, is to get back up. Number two, don't jump at the first opportunity you get. Joe's husband, Alex, worked at a different hospital than she does. He offered her a really great position at his hospital, and she thought about it. She would have been crazy not to at least consider it. However, that job wasn't exactly what she wanted to do. So after discussion back and forth between Alex and her boss at her old job, Bailey, they talked about multiple promotion opportunities for Joe, and she decided to make one last move. If you know me at all, then you know I'm deeply passionate about asking for what you want in the right way at the right time, and Joe did just that. Joe wanted to continue working with Bailey at Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital, and she wanted the attending surgeon position. So Joe did something that I talk about in the emerging leadership development sessions that I lead with companies. Let's take a look at it. When her and Bailey finally had time to talk, Joe first described the need that Bailey in the hospital had. Joe then made a big ask that would solve that need, even though it was a long shot. Then Joe described all the positive results Bailey in the hospital would experience if she got what she was asking for. Then Joe explained the negative results Bailey in the hospital would experience if she didn't get what she was asking for. So, if you didn't see the episode, you might be dying to know, did Joe get what she was asking for? Spoiler alert, yes. Think about this. If Joe would have jumped at the first shiny opportunity presented to her by her husband at his hospital, where she wouldn't have had to face people judging her because of her tough past, then she would have missed out on the opportunity to get her dream job at her dream location. What can you learn? The next time you're presented with an opportunity, make sure you've considered all other great opportunities that you could be passing up if you take that one. Because you never know, your dream job at your dream location may be just one big ask away. All right, number 3, push through hard things. So Joe got that job at the beginning, and she was the general surgeon at Gray Sloan. She was replacing Meredith Gray, who was an incredible surgeon. So Joe had an intern. The intern's name was Quadri. Quadri loved working for Meredith, but she was now working for Joe. And she was not happy about having to work with Joe instead of Meredith. And she made no bones about it. So we're going to dig into the Joe Quadri situation. So during the first discussion of the surgery that Joe is replacing Meredith Gray on, Joe is so excited for the opportunity, and Quadri's attitude is horrible. When Joe and Quadri walk into the room to talk to the patient about the surgery that's about to go down and tell the patient they're no longer going to have Meredith as their surgeon, the patient is very upset. The patient starts demanding that Meredith do their surgery. So while all of that conversation is going on, Quadri's standing in the background behind Joe and disrespectfully rolling her eyes at everything she's saying while Joe is working to gain rapport and respect from the patient. Obviously, this adds to the patient's disgust with Joe. Then, to add fuel to the fire, during an intense moment in the surgery, Quadri stops what she's doing and says, "Do you even know what you're doing?" She asked that to Joe. So how did Joe handle it? What can you learn from Joe in this situation? First of all, Joe didn't lose her cool with Quadri the entire time. And you know how hard it is to not lose your cool when somebody's totally disrespectful with you? It's not easy. Instead, Joe worked through the entire situation to encourage Quadri despite her negative attitude about everything. In the end, Joe created a solution that worked for herself and the patient, so they were both really happy. And Joe successfully performed that surgery in her first week as an attending general surgeon. Booyah! Now, spoiler alert, after all of that went down, Bailey fired Quadri. So, lesson from there, don't be like Quadri. Now think about your workplace. It's incredibly difficult to work with and lead someone who has a horrible attitude publicly and doubts every move you make, right? However, just like Joe, you can't give in to the pressure to retaliate. Successful leaders keep their composure. Successful leaders always set the example for high performance and get positive outcomes even through difficult circumstances. Remember, life is tough, but so are you. You can do hard things. It's simply a choice to take action to get you further, not farther from your goals. Now finally, I want you to hear me carefully on this. Although Joe is just a character on a TV show, we can take lessons from her today and in this season specifically. Maybe you're having a difficult time at work or at home. Maybe you've been dealt a tough hand. But just like Joe, you can choose to take responsibility for making good things happen for yourself. You can lead yourself well and set the example for everybody else. When things go bad, get back up. Don't jump at the first opportunity, jump at the best opportunity. Push through hard things so you can accomplish great things. You've got this. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I post more modern leadership development videos. If you want more information on the speaking and training I do for leadership teams, go to www.vanhooser.com. I'll see you next time.